Welcome to the weekend preview here for Los Alamitos Race Course. It is the weekend of Saturday, April 16th. It is Easter weekend as well, so that means no live racing on Easter Sunday, which is Sunday, April 17th. So just one race card here this weekend, Saturday, April 16th, but it is a 12-race card. Yes, 12-race card on Saturday, so plenty of races, plenty of horses to talk about, and I want to welcome back Christopher Wade. Fresh off of a nice price score last weekend, Chris, you gave us a nice selection, and despite two horses being scratched out of that field, you still got a pretty good price on that horse.
Yeah, I was surprised because we showed the horse as a Chris Mick's video horse to watch. He's a horse with some ability and a big body horse, had all kinds of trouble in that race. He galloped off very strong. And on my numbers, it was a closely matched affair. The five horse was getting well bet, but then he was acting a little bit goofy in the gate and behind the gate. And when he stumbled, it was a two-horse race between him and the three-horse who I can't remember his name, but he was very quick. But bet through the angle, wore him down in the lane. We got, I think it was like 1460 and a horse that we liked a little bit there, and it paid pretty well. Yeah,
so nice job, nice going with that selection, and a nice price to end the card last Sunday night. So 12 races on Saturday night, plenty of races to pick from to kind of go and give us a selection. But what race are you looking at here for Saturday?
Well, I'm going to take a look at the 8. I'm looking at a horse with only 3 lifetime starts, who was a C+ and a B+ worker prior to his debut for Lindolfo Diaz, with lots of trouble in the debut. Then he had trouble in the second lifetime start, but in that third start, this horse did break relatively well and broke a little slow head-eye. Skied, lost about 3/4, but still showed some solid speed and finished very strongly and earned a pretty good figure off that affair. And with everything factored in, trouble track variant, he figures like right there with Little Buddy and, of course, Del Favorite, who will probably be your favorite in there coming off a 100-yard event in that last race at 2-1 morning line. But 5-bar runner has a big look here with expected improvement in only lifetime start number 4 up against Elastic Magic Rhythm, a Little Buddy with multiple starts, and they're as good as they're going to get. But this horse steadily improving. I think he has a good look.
He was in gate. Yeah, he was in gate 4 this night, and he took money first time off the layoff back on February 20th, but he broke a bit slow. What did you see here on March 12th that caught your eye?
Well, it's just the number he earned with everything factored in. He broke pretty well, kind of head-eye and ski a little bit, lost half a length, 3/4. Still showed some decent speed there. He's number 4. It's really they're early, and he's a nice size runner, which I like to see because they always improve and they want more yardage. And this horse won well with run left to give there at 300 yards, and with expected improvement, going to be going further. He had run left to give there. I'm going to give him a big look here as our one of our top choices in the 8th event.
Final 8th wasn't flashy; it was 985, but I think the main takeaway was the better break and the better finish there, right in the third start out.
Yeah, just his 3rd lifetime start, and he steadily improved as a first-time gelding. Broke pretty well, kind of head cocked sideways, but finished very strong and galloped out. He's going a little bit yard farther here, and he's up against horses with more experience. But I think he's got a lot more room to improve. So I'm going to give him a look here as one of our prices lookers in the 19th event.
All right, that is 5-hour runner, Lindolfo Diaz and Jesus Rios Ayala teaming up. Chris, best of luck with that selection. Hopefully we can make it back-to-back weeks with a couple of winners. Mike Wrona is chomping at the bit because he gave us a winner as well. So it was a productive show last week. Well done, Chris.
Thank you, boss. You have a good night.
Have a good night. Welcome back to the program. Now joined by the voice of Los Alamitos, Mr. Michael Wrona. Michael, tip of the hat. I just had Chris wait on. He gave us a winner to end the card last week. You gave us a winner to begin the card. So nice selection last week.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, Chris and I bookended the card, and nice to have that winner who did a pretty good job because he was starting to lug going into the turn, but got balanced up again and wore down the favourite Ketchup in the last little bit.
Was it? I believe it was Eric Garcia with the pickup mount, if I remember correctly. So well done to the rider. Well done to him because it was a pickup mount, and you can see he was a little bit difficult to ride, but got the job done through everything that was considered there. All right, so we're back here for Saturday night, 12 races, and we will have 3 pick fours. Let me confirm that. Yes, so 3 pick fours, and
yeah, it's a well balanced program.
Yes.
Good variety.
Yes, very good variety. Quarter horses, 1,000 yards, 4.5 furlongs, conditional claimers, and allowance fields as well. All right, so what race do you want us to take a look at?
Yeah, well, mentally, I'm going walkabout with this selection. Second longest shot on Ed Burgart's morning line in race number 4. Although I've just received a little bit of a boost in confidence because you told me minutes ago that this horse is going to be your long shot play in the program.
Yes, I actually did gave a little bit of a case here for this one. I like the price of 8-1, and I think we both agree that there's more to look at than just an even 5th place finish last time out, right?
Yes. We're talking about number 3, Invicta. There are several horses coming out of this March 13 race that are entered again in this contest, including 2 horses that squeezed Invicta at the start of the race. Invicta had gate 2, Studley Perfection had the rail, and Hot Pursuit had gate 3. And you'll see the 1 and the 3 come together and look for the 2, Invicta, to get squeezed and checked back a clear last. He just couldn't muster any speed after that. And in fact, he drifts out of camera range mid-race.
Yeah, at this point, the race is developing towards the outside. You can see at the top of the screen, he's kind of dropping a little bit of touch with the field. And, anytime you lose momentum going 1,000 yards, you're going to be up against it at this point.
So eventually Around the Dial rallies strongly to be beaten ahead. He finished 2nd. He's the morning line favourite for this race Saturday night. Hot Pursuit ends up finishing 3rd, and Studley Perfection 4th. Invicta runs 5th. Now, that's him near the inside, just starting to run on, getting to 5th at the top of the lane, but a long way off the lead. He continues to close. Even though he finishes only 5th, he gets within 3 lengths of the winner, and he finishes only a half length behind Studley Perfection. I thought there was a lot more merit in his run. But look at the gallop out, Jose. Look at him in the turn out of the stretch here, moving right away from the field, continuing with a very strong gallop out.
Yeah, and that's what caught my eye also there, the gallop out. And the fact that even after all the ground loss early on and all that, I thought that, to be only within 3 lengths at the end when everything was said and done, I think that was a pretty solid effort because, he was still closing into the same pace that Around the Dial ended up closing, only missing by a head. So I thought it was a very, very game effort given the trouble.
Yes, I agree. My concern is that Invicta typically does not display much early pace, even if he gets a clean break. And he's going to be giving away a start in all likelihood. More tactical speed with some of these other runners. But if he can lay just that little bit closer, he has a chance to round them up in the stretch. And I think at 8-1, he's worth a play. At the very least, I suggest using him in exotic plays. Studley Perfection, number 1, is 7-2 on the morning line. Finished a half length in front of Invicta last time, and you're getting more than twice the odds about Invicta. Like I just said a couple of minutes ago, I thought there was more merit in the 5th place run of Invicta than the 4th place run of Studley Perfection. So just on that alone, this horse is worth playing. He's worth including at the odds. If he can just stay in touch in the middle part of the race, he can be involved in the finish.
Yeah, he was down. First point of call had him 7 3/4 lengths behind. If he can somewhere stay within, let's say, 5 lengths at first call, I think that'll be a much better starting point because given the way he finished, it was still a pretty good effort. He one thing that I did notice is that we lose Francisco Junior Rojas, who I believe it lands on. Actually, he doesn't have a mount. Oh.
No, he doesn't have a mount in that race.
Interesting.
Which surprised me. To be honest, I haven't checked whether he's riding at all. He's not suspended again, is he? I know he was out a couple of weeks ago. But we get Cesar Franco, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, Cesar Franco has been putting in a couple of nice winners in the last few weeks. And Francisco is listed earlier in the card. He's riding the Old Pro just a Mitch in race
Oh,
number
right.
3. So he is
Okay.
riding early in the car, but I'm with you. Cesar Franco will help our price because not an every night high profile rider, so we should still get a solid price. So let's hope like minds think alike. Invictitadas at a price.
Yeah. Yep. Give him strength.
All right. So any plans for this holiday weekend Sunday off? Are you going to any breweries, any taquerias? Are you going anywhere?
Yeah, matter of fact, there's quite a bit on the agenda.
Nice.
I have been invited to the Olympic Club in San Francisco for Easter brunch with some dear friends of ours. Jesse Tribulado is 104 years old. His daughter is a close friend of my wife's, and every Thanksgiving and Easter they gather at the Olympic Club where Jesse's been a member for a long time. So we're going to an El Swisho Easter brunch on Sunday, flying up early Sunday morning to the Bay Area and spending some time up there with Kathy's family and catch up with some friends across the week and fly back on Friday morning. So I'm not sure yet where I'll be broadcasting from when we record the webcast next Thursday afternoon. It'll be somewhere obscure, I assure you.
Well, sounds like good plans to be had this upcoming week. So happy Easter to you and yours, and we'll see you out there at Los Alamitos this weekend.
Okay, looking forward to Saturday. 12 races set down for decision.
Have a good night.
Hooroo.
Welcome back now with Professor G here. Professor, I'm still dreaming about those chicharrones at Burgart's. They were delicious. They were delicious.
You know what? And the war must have spread out because it was packed on Saturday night at Burgart's.
Nice,
a lot of people there. I think they had a record night out there. So definitely people are enjoying everything that Burgart's has to offer, which is a lot. You know, great TVs, delicious appetizer menu, nice cold drinks. Simulcasting still happening, especially after our last race is done. But all throughout the night, you get to watch all the exciting racing action from around the country. So if you haven't had a chance to visit us at Burgart's, please do so. I'm telling you, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, it's definitely a good spot to hang out after the races and also during the races to watch all the simulcast action across the country. All right, 12 races, Professor G. I didn't get any sleep. I burned the midnight oil, knocking out all the comments, working on those workout analysis for the Nightlines program to make sure we got the deadline set for printing. But 12 races, 3 pick fours on Saturday, Professor.
Absolutely, starting in races 1, 5, and 9. So it's kind of a fun thing to get that extra pick 4 there. I think the last time that we had 3 pick 4s must have been on the night of the Los Alamitos 2 million trials.
Yes.
I know we had 14 races on that night. So that may have been the last time that we offered a middle pick 4. But overall, the pick 4s that continue to be strong, great pools. I think last week we had a pool that was over $224,000, I believe, on one of those nights. So great action. Our pick 6 with our promos continue to just stay up. We had an $86,000 pool last week, $100,000 a few weeks ago. In that big one, $320,000 also in the promo, the pick 6 action. So good pools, good card on Sunday, and like you mentioned, 3 pick 4. So we gotta take a look at those races as well, Jose.
Yeah, plenty of races to take a look at. We welcomed on Christopher Wade and Mike Wrona. They both gave us winners last week, Orlando. So they're hot. They're feeling hot. They talked about a few races on the card. But let's start with race number 3 because it's a pretty nice group of 10 claimers here. And a few of these runners are kind of going up in class. A few of them are dropping. So I think it makes for an interesting handicapping race. But I think the thing that stands out in this field, Orlando, there's a ton of speed, a ton of speed here. Is Just a Mitch, the 12-year-old pro, still going to continue that win streak, Orlando?
I mean, he's just so impressive on how quick he just is out of the gate, Jose. And he's been doing it for such a long time. And there's just no slow in form for this horse. He just breaks so fast out of the gate. But you're totally right. We got Project Leader, Swamping Ain't Easy. Just two of those horses are also very, very fast out of the gate. And I think they're going to try to give Just a Mitch a run for the money. This is a pretty tough field. He's been facing, 62.5, 5,000 claimers. This is a $10,000 claimers here. So, a little bit of a stronger competition for Just a Mitch. And can you imagine the call that Michael Wrona would give if Just a Mitch ends up winning this race against these horses? That this 12-year-old making his 67th career start. It's going to be pretty exciting if that does happen.
Orlando, I'm going up and down the ages here. He's double the age, at least minimum, of everybody in this field. Double the age.
Yeah, and Run Factor would be the second horse as far as stars are concerned. Run Factor has started 43 times.
Yes.
Just a Mitch has started 23 more times than Run Factor. I mean, this is just a hard-knocking, professional, still fast runner, and someone that has given us a lot of thrills over his career. This horse was a stakes winner at 870 yards. I'm thinking maybe 5 years ago, Jose.
Yeah. I mean, look at that bottom rolling line that we see in the PPs. He gave Ballast Point everything he could handle in the trick or treat back on October 30th on Halloween, going to 870. Now, there's some interesting things happening here, Orlando. He's switching barns, and he loses his regular rider. Ricardo Ramirez ends up on 2 bills for the barn of Jesus Uranga. He gets Francisco Orduña Rojas, who knows him well. He rode him way back when. But it feels like it's going to be an all-out speed duel because Project Leader, when he wins, is when he's on the front end. So I think the winning move for Project Leader is to take the race to him immediately out of the race. A horse that I liked last time out at a price and scored a nice pick 4 was Swampin' Ain't Easy. He did it on the front end. He lost the lead, re-rallied, a little bit of an interesting trip that night. But his time is pretty good at 52.62. I think anything close to that will put him in the mix once again.
Yeah, a couple of observations. The number 2, Project Leader, like you mentioned, has done some good things at this level. Won at $8,000 claiming level. Won easily when going against allowance foes, also at 1,000 yards. And like you mentioned, that time right around the low 52-second range. Then he took on some pretty tough rivals. Whiskey, My God. We saw him compete against Jerry and Yankee and some of those big, tough runners in an allowance race last week. Whiskey, My God. And the last out, Project Leader, ran second to Figaro. And Figaro ended up finishing second to Jerry last week. So a little class relief here for Project Leader. We'll see how the speed holds up because his last 2 starts facing against a really tough group. He's lost the lead after running pretty good early on. You mentioned Swampin' Ain't Easy, one of the 2 horses from the barn of Adan Farias. This horse coming off of a nice victory. And Farias will also saddle Nazare on the outside. Nazare has also shown us some speed. And I had a chance to talk to Adan Farias on Thursday morning, and he said that the thought is he's going to send 1 horse to the lead and hopefully have another one coming off the pace. And if the one off the pace doesn't get it done, then maybe the speed will hold for his barn. He didn't tell us which one. And it'll be interesting because he could send either one of these horses. Yeah. Both of them have shown speed. So it'll be interesting to see what the Farias duo does in this race. How about we listen to Adan Farias and what he had to say, not only about this race, but also about a really talented 2-year-old by the name of Price Fixer that is going to run later on Saturday night. Good racing action here on Saturday night. We're here with trainer Adan Farias, and behind you, David Henkins' Price Fixer, a horse that you paid, I believe, $85,000 for this run of the Los Alamitos Equine Sale, and his last work, really good, 12.3. Tell me about this runner.
Well, when we seen him at the sale, we really love this horse. We were like, you know what? We need to buy a good horse, and they was like, pick one horse, and we both seen this horse. We liked them. We're like, all right, let's try and get this horse, and it was the best things we did because he could run. First workout, he did 12.4 easy, and then last time I worked him with one of the Heat Taylors, going what, to 20 obviously, and worked 12.3 very easy. So we really don't know how fast he really is.
And you're well positioned. It's a tough field. It's a nice little 2-year-old race. We have a couple of other runners there that are also well bred, high price. So interesting race.
Exactly, even better, because once you get those easy races, you get fake expectations. But this time, hopefully, if you perform good, you know you have a good horse competing with big races.
Not only quarter horses that you have training here at Los Alamitos, you also condition some nice thoroughbreds as well. In one of the allowance events tonight, on Saturday night, you have some really good horses. Nazare, who's been in the big races here at 1,000 yards, and Swampin' and Easy, a speed horse at 1,000 yards as well. But there's lots of speed in that race, including like veteran Justin Mitch.
Right. When I entered these two horses, I thought I was like, okay, I'll be tough in here. And once I seen the proof of the races, I was like, wow, we just drew tough in that race. There's a lot of speed, a lot of horses that are fast. It's going to be a very competitive race, and I have 2 good horses in there too, so I'm not afraid, but I know it's a tough race.
How much do you think about the strategy in those type of races? Have you already kind of thought what you're going to do, or are you kind of going to still trying to figure it out? What's going to be the plan?
I was thinking about sending one horse to the lead and holding one horse back. Hopefully the one behind finish strong if the horse in the lead can finish the race. But it's hard to strategize. It's only 1,000 yards, a small little stretch. But I'll leave it up to the riders. They're pretty smart.
So it should be a heck of a race. Lots of speed, like we mentioned, Justin Mitch, the great veteran. And I'm sure Something Ain't Easy will be part of the fun right there.
Oh, yeah, he's a tough horse. He likes to win races.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, Adan Farias, the barn's going to be in a pretty busy Saturday night, and they've been in a good row, not only with the thoroughbreds, but also with the quarter horses. We'll talk more about that quarter horse he has later on tonight. But you mentioned both of these horses could show enough speed to be on the lead or pressing the pace, and it looks like the most likely off the pace runner could be Nazare. I think Swampin' Easy will probably get sent based on what he's done recently. But 2 good contenders here to tackle in a very, very good third race, which is the third leg of that early pick 4. So 12 races, Orlando. We got 3 pick 4s. The middle pick 4 will begin in race number 5. I want to take a look at race number 6. Race number 6 is another very good allowance event. $19,000 is the purse for these 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races at 1,000 yards. There's a few runners coming on from the daytime circuit, most notably Midnight Special and Half Right. But Half Right looked very, very sharp in that local win back on February 27th, Orlando.
And Diego Herrera returns aboard Half Right, because this horse is actually coming off of a race at Santa Anita. The last time that he ran here at Los Alamitos, it was Diego Herrera aboard Half Right. Another horse with what looks like pretty good tactical speed as far as being able to position himself in good spots. Here at Los Alamitos, showed a ton of speed in that last nighttime outing, and we've seen him, go on the lead at Santa Anita, maybe stay a little bit off the pace setter and win in that situation as well a couple of times. So this is my pick. I'm going to go with the 3 Half Right for trainer Steve Knapp. He also has Midnight Special, like you mentioned. That horse coming off of a pretty solid second place finish at Santa Anita.
I do like Midnight Special as well. I went 3-2-4 in this spot, so I went towards the middle part of the gate. Nichiren looked very impressive. I think it was a patented second time over the track improvement angle on Nichiren. Mm-hmm. He really looked strong second time out, and his time really greatly improved there, about half a second. Nichiren did, and he looks plenty tough in one of those main contenders. The only thing I do have to say about Half Right is that he just wasn't involved last time out after Breaking Bad. He didn't show much response. So if you draw a line to that race, he looks like a standout based on what he did 2 starts ago. But there is a question, why did he just not fire at all last time out? But the barn brings in 2 runners, and it appears like both of them are very, very live.
Got a couple of other interesting horses here. Perfect D won at 1,000 yards here. The time 52:87. You compare that to Nichiren, who when he won by that 6 length effort, went 52:65. So what, about a length and a half behind Nichiren when you see those times. Perfect D, however, only won by a neck, so under pressure in that race, while the James Glenn Jr. Trained horse owned by George Sharp was doing things easily. So you got Perfect D there from the rail. Let's see what he does. And Smile for Me, trainer Lorenzo Ruiz, Edgar Payeras, they've upset the apple cart a few times.
Yes.
During their partnership, their career here at Los Alamitos. So like you mentioned, really interesting allowance event. One or two allowance events at 1,000 yards. We have several allowance races for the quarter horses as well, and of course the really interesting juvenile races as well. So 12 races on the card, 6:30 p.m. first post. A lot of action here.
And I mean, we got to tip our hat to the ever pro Jerry Orlando. What? How good is he? I mean, he was already taking the lead over the quarter horse Yankee before they hit the turn. I mean, he was sensational in that win that we previewed last week. I mean, tip of the cap to Jerry. He's just ultra consistent. He just loves the racetrack. Yeah,
and I had a chance to talk to Francisco Junior Rojas right after that race, and he said, I was expecting a little speed from Yankee, and I didn't want to let him get ahead too far. And he was actually a little bit surprised that he was able to to keep up early with Yankee. And once he took the lead, he knew that he was in a really good spot. And Francisco Junior Rojas said, "This horse just keeps surprising me in a tremendously good way because of how he responds to every challenge that gets put his way." 12 wins in his Los Alamitos career for Jerry from 15 starts.
And some of his better wins have been when he's not the quote-unquote target in the race. Like, all eyes were on Yankee that race. So he was able to kind of just track and have a target to run at versus other races where, he's usually the big favorite and everybody's against him. So whenever he's allowed to kind of settle or chase someone, he looks even stronger. So kudos there.
At 1,000 yards, he is just ultra tough, just very, very tough for these quarter horses to knock off. Maybe at 870 we would see a heck of a finish.
Yes.
But he's now beaten Ballast Point at 1,000 yards, and he's now taking care of Yankee at that distance as well. We'll see Yankee again. We'll see him again, I'm sure, getting another crack at Jerry and all these good 1,000-yard horses.
All right, so let's go to race number 7, Orlando. By this point, we'll be talking, all right, it's late pick 4 time. Sometimes we'll be talking, it's late double time. No, this is pick 6 time. The pick six begins in race number 7. We're going to begin it with a field of 2-year-olds. These quarter horses are going 300 yards. We've seen all those 220-yard races, but a lot of these 2-year-olds, actually all of them, either have a start like Charlie Brown or have posted 2 published workouts. That's where we're seeing them entered going 300 yards. Field of 6, one runner has experience, Orlando. And what did we see last week from the runners with racing experience? Wins. That's all we saw.
Yeah, so that was both runners from the Scott Willoughby, Ed Allred barn. Thames was one of them, and the other name escapes me, but both of them with victories.
Yes, both of them with victories, and I think one of them they ran the exacta. I think the 2 horses, right, that had a racing experience, and one of them they ran one too. All right, so let's look at a couple of horses here. Let's start with Party Hounds. Party Hounds on March 26th. Didn't we see a sibling debut last week by this one? I believe so.
That was Time Flies.
Time Flies, yes. So a sibling to this one made a first start last week. Party Hounds, Utah bred by Corona Cartel out of Paleto Surfer. They paid $220,000 for this one. This one is out of a very good family. Obviously, you see the good breeding lines. But let's take a look at that workout on March 26th for this nicely bred and expensive son of Corona Cartel. And we'll bring up the workout here, courtesy of LosAlamitos.com. Here's the workout, March 26th. and he was on the inside here of this two-team set. What did you end up liking about this work, or what did you see in this workout from Party Hounds?
Well, we have a runner here who is from the family of Call Me Cole, as well as Riptide, and you see the horse going to the inside just a bit, comes back out even here with the workmate, and look, a nice acceleration right there, had a nice little burst at the end. They pretty much hit the wire even. A good work, but he did drift in a little bit out of the start. So good work. I think there's still some potential to improve. If you remember back at Time Flies, it also took him a little bit to get going. If I remember correctly, he broke in and then kind of looked pretty good midway. So, they're still lacking a little bit of that just flying quickness out of the gate. But once they get rolling, good effort from both of the siblings.
I agree. There was good energy there. You can tell the rider was not, asking everything, and there was some nice acceleration after getting corrected from moving inside. So that was Party Hounds, a $220,000 purchase. So here's Price Fixer. We talked to Adan Farias earlier in the card. Adan Farias trains this one for owner David Hinkins. This is a Los Alamitos Equine Cell graduate of 2021. They paid $85,000 for this 2-year-old colt out of Chica First. So here's Price Fixer's workout, and he was on the outside of this two-team set.
Now, what you're going to see here is going to be ultra quick out of the gate. Look at that. He's already well into stride. He does go a little bit outside, but by now he's about a half a length in front, and look at the way he is just going to finish. Plenty of room to move on the outside. He was hustled a little bit at the midway point, went a little bit inside, but just powerful wins by daylight. And then look at this gallop out. He's just going to continue to guzzle up ground. Nice and easy all the way around that turn. And that was the fastest of the fourth fastest of 34 works on March 26th. Price Fixer, the family, the granddam is Chickasis, the mother of Hard Hitting, Hot Hitter. All of those were stakes winners. Lassen County was a track record holder here at Los Al for a brief period of time. The mother of Price Fixer, she produced Freaking, I believe, who was a James Smith handicap winner here at Los Al. So there is some a lot of stakes winners in the family of Price Fixer.
What I liked about that work is that when the rider leveled out and asked him to kind of respond a little bit under the urgent, he responded with big long strides. So very good amount of talent there. First workout, he did it in 12:40. He did it in 12:30 there on March 26th. Let me see. I showed you Party Hounds and I show you Price Fixer. What do you give to the experience of Charlie Brown, Orlando? It hopped off slow first time out. I mean, we saw a 2-year-old really actually break slow first time out last week as well, and he came back to run very, very well. So what do you think of this runner drawing the outside?
Well, that's a big key right there. The fact that he's going to start from the outside post, that's going to, should help him find some running room there, especially if he's able to break quick out of the gate. And the other thing is Jesus Rios Ayala gets on this horse, stays on this horse. So obviously he has to feel that there's some improvement there for Charlie Brown. The only thing that I kind of find interesting is that this horse was eligible to run in the kindergarten futurity based on that designation there, and he's not gonna, they're gonna skip the kindergarten, and instead they will go ahead and go in this maiden race. So that's kind of one thing that I think might be seen as a negative. If they felt that maybe this horse can take a big step forward after that work, maybe you save him for the kindergarten trials.
Here we go. Here's a workout for Hayshaker, Orlando. He was on the inside of this two-team set.
And he's going to work against a filly named Just Sassy Corona. 12.3 for Hayshaker, 12.4 for the filly. And he's fast out of the gate. Looked like a pro right away, doing things very, very professional there. Moved ahead of the of Just Sassy Corona. Nice hand ride from there, and just continues striding nicely to the wire and shows some flash after the wire. Another nice gallop out here from Hey Shaker. But the most impressive thing that I took from that workout is just how professional he looked. We saw another Paul Jones trainee who looked very, very professional last week.
Yes.
Don Sass KVN. He looked good in that work and ran extremely well in his debut. And Jose, I had a chance to talk to Paul Jones and asked him about Don Sass KVN and also about his 4 good juveniles that he's got in these races: Party Hound, Hey Shaker, and in the other race, Valiant Livy is one of them, and the other one is
Somewhere Out West.
Somewhere Out West. So he gave us a little bit of insight on each of those horses. So how about we go to that interview with Paul Jones?
All right, here's Paul Jones talking about his 4 2-year-olds here in races 7 and 9.
A night of racing here at Los Alamitos. 12 races on Saturday. Some nice 2-year-old races as well. You're going to have 4 really nice babies in those races. We'll come back to them because first I want to ask you about Don Sassme KVN. Super impressive debut from the rail. And from a sire, KVN Corona, who you train. So that must be fun to see that development happening.
Yeah, it really is. I'm really happy with the KVN Corona babies. This colt is quite a bit like KVN Corona. It reminds me a lot of his daddy. He's very professional. You know, he does everything right, and he's got talent. So you put that combination together, and that's what makes a good horse. And he did everything right on his last race, and he ran very impressively.
Can you give me a quick overview of what's to come for this horse?
Well, this horse is actually, he's not in the Ed Burke, so he's going to go to Ruidoso. He's in the Ruidoso, the Rainbow, and the All-American, and hopefully he'll come back here for the Golden State and the 2 million.
Let's move ahead to the 2-year-olds that are running here this Saturday night. Party Hound and Hey Shaker, they'll be in the same race, and especially with Party Hound, incredibly well bred. Hey Shaker coming off of a really nice work.
Yeah, Party Hound's, you know, he is very well bred. He's a Corona Cartel colt out of the mare Little Surfer, which I actually trained the mother Little Surfer. She was a great runner herself, and she's produced some nice horses. And then Hey Shaker, he's a homebred Favorite Cartel colt out of a half sister to Foos. Oh, actually, out of a full sister to Foos. So both of those breedings I bred, Favorite Cartel. That's and right. Foos. So they're both, you know, kind of families that I've developed. So it'll be kind of exciting to see how he does. He did work really nice in his last work.
Moving on to the next race, Somewhere Out West was a 2-year-old that caught your eye, right?
Somewhere Out West is a nice filly. She belongs to Bradbury Racing, the same as Don Sass KVN, and she's a really nice filly. She's been working good, training really well, and looks like she's going to be pretty decent.
And Valiant Livy wrapping up the foursome in those 2-year-old races. Another very well-bred runner.
Yeah, Valiant Livy is a really well-bred filly. She's a Valiant Hero filly that belongs to Jim and Lana Bailey, and they bought her in Ruidoso last year, and she's a very, like I said, a very well-bred filly, and she's coming along good. She was a little feisty, on the little feisty side, but usually those are the kind of fillies that run, and the ones that have a little bit of attitude. But she's coming around really well, and she's starting to really level off and do things right. So hopefully we'll get a good race out of her.
You need a little bit more patience when you have like a little feisty runner like that, just to give them time to, you know, continue to mature, develop.
Yeah, you definitely need patience, and you just, she's one of them fillies that you just got to do everything, make it fun for her, make it nice, you know, and just keep them happy and be kind to them, and they come around for you.
The barn of Paul Jones has some live 2-year-olds here, and he's already has some very impressive debut winner last week at Orlando. So it's a barn that will be busy to begin the season. Let's take a look at race number 9. 220 yards for these 2-year-olds, a field of 7 runners. And we're going to kick it off here with a workout review. I believe of Valiant Lily is one of the workouts that I have here ready to go. And I'll bring it up right up. It was March 26th. March 26th was a busy day for workouts. Lots of workouts on that specific morning. And look at the expensive price tag, Orlando. $220,000 purchase there out of the Ruidoso sale.
That matches the price of the other runner from the Paul Jones barn in race number 7, Party Hounds, also $220,000. But let's take a look at Valiant Livy. One thing that Paul said in that interview is that she's pretty feisty, and we'll see her outwork her company. 12.7 versus 13.1. She'll hop a little bit when the gates open, a little bit towards the inside there, but has a nice big lead right away, settles nicely into her stride, maybe floats out a bit there. She was hustled a little bit at the midway point, and you can see a little bit of her feistiness here in this gallop out. She'll be moving her head around a little bit. But Paul noted that, that's okay when they're a little feisty, a little bit aggressive. He kind of likes that. That means there's a little bit of, just will to run, some energy there. And he doesn't mind that at all.
Yeah, some little bit of eagerness is there. So you can see there's room to improve for Valiant Lily. This one owned by Lana Merrick Bailey there for Paul Jones, the Paul Jones barn. All right, another one. Let me see who I have here. I also have Somewhere Out West here for Paul Jones. So why don't we look at Somewhere Out West? I was encouraged by this workout for this 2-year-old filly. Somewhere Out West will be on the outside of this 2-team set, and she went in 12:40 this morning.
And Jose, the inside horse in this workout, Don Sass KVN. So she's working against a very, very tough horse, a horse that won his racing debut in 12.4. And you can see here how professional Don Sass KVN is, but look at how well Somewhere Out West kept up with this impressive maiden winner. And she bobbled a little bit out of the gate. Maybe if we can rewind, if we have that opportunity, Jose, just to see that little bit of a bobble out of the gate, but how quickly she recovered. But after that bobble, she was always about a half length behind Don Sass KVN.
I like how she keeps up while the rider is not really asking for much.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very good girl, very good workout for her.
And Paul noted that he really likes it. Was very impressed with this filly, and we can maybe look back at the odds on Somewhere Out West. She's certainly one of the favorites in Ed Burghart's morning line. And
wasn't the impressive debut winner, the stablemate, also owned by Bradbury Racing, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, I believe so.
This one also owned by Bradbury Racing. Let's bring up the past performances once again. Here's race number 9. So we saw Valiant Livy. We saw Somewhere Out West. 7-2 on Ed Burghart's morning line. The morning line favorite will be Corona Rose, because Corona Rose did everything but win first time out Orlando, and the time of the race was pretty solid. She went in 12:19.
Yeah, and up to that time, that may have been the fastest time before we saw the following week. We had some really fast times in Marcelo and his Chickless. They went really fast, but Corona Rose 12.9 against a 12.8 in a race where this horse was catching on Born to Fly. So should be a pretty good race between Somewhere Out West and Corona Rose. I think those two are going to be pretty tough. And like you mentioned, there's a couple of horses with experience. Secret Success also has some experience running against Navaja when Navaja went 12:16 against 12:77 of Secret Success. Not a very fast time, to be honest. One thing that we forgot to note in race number 7, Jose, is that juvenile race is at 300 yards.
Yeah.
Because all those horses that are making their racing debut, they've all had 2 workouts under their belt already. So you can go 300 yards if you've had 2 gate works. If you only have 1, then you're eligible to run at 220 yards. but all these horses have a little bit more experience, a little bit more seasoning, and we saw that on Hay Shaker.
Yeah, I got you covered, Professor G. I think I mentioned it. If I didn't, I'll give you all the credit.
No,
but
I'm sure you did, and I was like, concentrating on what I was gonna say.
yes, because it caught my eye when we were going through the races. All right, Professor G, that's a good preview there of the 2-year-old works. You gave us some nice analysis last week. It was a good week overall. I went back to look at the Pick 6 results because there was a 30-1 bomb, if I remember correctly, in the first leg, and then did it go 5 post-time favorites after that?
Yeah,
it was 4, and then another price to end it.
Yeah, Ricardo Guillen, a trainee from the Ricardo Guillen barn, wins at 30-1 odds, right? And showing pretty good speed and never looking back. And I thought, man, maybe we might get a carryover then for Saturday night. This being, I knew we were going to have some really good races since we're not running on Sunday, but no, there was some excellent horse players out there that not only had that winner, but going into the last race of the weekend, the stakes race, the Dashing Folly, I think only 2 out of the 7 horses were not covered in the Pick 6, and of course the winner of the Dashing Folly was from the barn of Lindolfo Diaz. A nice victory there for Gata Corona Jess. A really hard-knocking performer here. So congratulations to them for that nice victory.
And congratulations to the horse players that took down the nice Pick 6, and they supported the pools as well. All right, Professor G, we're only racing this Saturday because it's Easter Sunday. We don't race. We'll take the night off there. Are you doing anything special? Are you taking over the grill? They're putting me to work. I'm grilling on Sunday, Orlando. So just when I thought I was going to relax, no, they already got everything lined up. I'm going to be grilling at home. Can't complain. Should be a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure my wife will keep me busy on Sunday morning. I may get to sleep in, but
yes,
we probably have if I'm not gonna be grilling like you said, we're probably gonna be cleaning or something. Maybe catching a little bit of the basketball or baseball, whatever's happening there. And even though we're not racing live, Jose, we are gonna be there is simulcasting happening. As well. Cal Expo is going to be racing on Sunday night. So,
can I vent to you for a little bit, Professor G?
Of course.
Because how did the Clippers give up a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter with about 6 to 7 minutes left, when all season long they've been the team that has come back after being down double digits? All they needed to do is just hold on for 6 more minutes, and they couldn't do it.
I got 2 words: Reggie Jackson. He's been so good in crunch time, but that just wasn't his night.
Yeah,
it was not his night. A little disappointed with his play. Let's just leave it at that.
We're glad to have Paul George back. So now we're recording this on Thursday. They're supposed to come back home Friday and host
the Pelicans.
The Pelicans are looking good. The Pelicans are looking scary, Orlando. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not feeling good about this one. But even if the Clippers get by the Pelicans, now they got to go to the Phoenix Suns and Chris Paul. How about that?
Yeah, well, they got the home game, and I think all the home teams won during that first series of games for the play-in. So they got the extra day of rest. They're going to be at home, and maybe Paul George and Norman Powell a little bit more cohesive unit now that they've played another, probably the first high intensity game that they've had to play together. So and Reggie Jackson just needs to be cool.
He looked tired out there. It's been a long season. He's carried
he's carried that team a lot. He's had some big games for them. So we got to give him some slack for that. But he's got to remember now he's got Paul George and Norman Powell. Let them shoot as well.
Now I got one more question to ask you. How about Clayton Kershaw getting pulled off of a perfect game with 80 pitches, cruising through the 7th? What did you think about that?
Well, for the Dodgers, this is a World Series or bust.
Yes.
Right. I mean that's what unfortunately that has to be the goal, right? They have to get to the World Series at the very least with that squad. So big picture, I kind of get it. Not only that, Kershaw was fine with it. I think he told Roberts that he could probably give him about 85 pitches from if I understand that correctly. So if that's the case, then I'm okay with it. It would have been really cool, though. It would have been really cool to see a perfect game. I was watching the game. We were doing some filming actually at Burger, so we had the game on while that was happening. So it would have been great to see, but his legacy is intact no matter what. As far as Kershaw is concerned, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah. So but it's always great to get that perfect game going. But the big picture, I'm all right as long as they end up in the World Series.
Good to see Bellinger back hit it over the yard. I mean, that was good to see. Bellinger finally back, swinging it better. He looks much better out there, more comfortable, and he got a home run out the park. So good to see things rolling. Their opening night is tonight, right?
Yeah, it's Thursday. It's a big day of baseball here in Southern California because Ohtani is pitching tonight, in Thursday night, and of course the opening day of the Dodgers season there at home. So
I'll tell you what, I think the Angels are going to have a good season. I think they're going to have a really, really good season. So they look good out there in Anaheim. Professor G, thanks so much for all the insight, and looking forward. 12 races, 3 pick 4 Saturday night. What time is our post time?
6:30 p.m. for our racing action. Full day time of racing. Santa Anita, Golden Gate, Keeneland, a lot of action there during the daytime. And our first post, 6:30 p.m., 12 races. Jose, get some rest.
Sounds good. I'm going to catch up on sleep. I didn't get much sleep last night doing all the comments, but we're back. They're ready. Sent for the printer. Get ready to be in the Nightlands program there for all the horse players. Orlando, thanks so much, and we'll see you out there this weekend at Los Al.
See you soon.
Now at Los Alamitos, it's weekends full of thrilling action.
Racing!
With live quarter horse and thoroughbred racing every Saturday and Sunday nights. More races on our weekend night, plus strong fields in our early and late pick 4s. And we're still adding $10,000 into our pick 6 pool when there's not a carryover going into the Sunday card. It's a great deal in our traditional pick 6. Don't miss a second of the thrilling action at Los Alamitos.
Racing!
Every Saturday and Sunday nights.